Your mind is a portal to cosmic consciousness. Have you ever stared up into a clear night sky and felt connected? Like you're a part of something impossibly big? What if that's not just poetry? For thousands of years, ancient philosophies have talked about this connection. And now, some bold thinkers on the fringes of modern science are starting to ask similar questions. What if your mind isn't just in the universe, but is a portal to the consciousness of the universe itself? Let's explore that mind-bending idea and see where the evidence and the speculation leads. Section 1. The Ancient Echoes. This idea that our minds are tangled up with a universal consciousness isn't new, not by a long shot. It's a golden thread running through history, long before we had telescopes to see the galaxies or tools to map the brain. In the ancient texts of India, the Vedas and Upanishads, they spoke of Brahman. Brahman isn't some distant god on a cloud. It's described as the fabric of reality itself, a universal consciousness that everything comes from and returns to. The philosophy of Advaita Vedanta takes it a step further, teaching that your innermost self, the Atman, is actually one and the same with Brahman. The whole point of life, then, is to realize you're not just a drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in a single drop. Half a world away, Taoist philosophers in ancient China talked about the Tao, or the Way. The Tao is the natural, effortless rhythm of the cosmos. It's the invisible logic that guides everything. To live in harmony with the Tao meant letting go of the idea that you're a separate, isolated person, and instead becoming a channel for the universe to express itself through you. Different words, different cultures, but they all point to the same incredible thought. Behind our world of separate things and individual minds, there's a single, unified field of awareness. They taught that the biggest secrets of the cosmos weren't out there, but in here. And for centuries, that idea was waiting for science to catch up. Section 2. The Modern Scientific Riddle. For a long time, science and spirituality didn't have much to say to each other. Science focused on the physical, measurable world, while spirituality explored our inner, subjective lives. But in its mission to explain everything, science has hit a fascinating roadblock. It's often called the hard problem of consciousness. Here's the puzzle. Neuroscientists can map our brains in stunning detail. They can see which parts light up when we feel happy or recognize a friend. We've found what happens in the brain when we're conscious, but we have no idea how. A 3-pound lump of wet, gray matter creates the experience of being. How do electrical signals become the vivid red of a sunset, the sting of sadness, or the taste of a strawberry? Physicalism, the idea that everything in existence is purely physical, hasn't been able to crack this nut. And because that answer remains so elusive, it has opened the door for some scientists and philosophers to explore more radical possibilities. Ideas that sound surprisingly like that ancient wisdom. What if the brain doesn't produce consciousness the way a factory produces smoke? What if consciousness is actually a fundamental feature of reality itself? Section 3. The Scientific Frontier. This is where we get into some seriously fascinating, but also highly debated territory. One of the most talked about ideas is panpsychism. It comes from the Greek words for all and soul, and it proposes that consciousness isn't unique to brains, but is a basic ingredient of the universe, present in all matter in some simple form. An electron doesn't worry about its taxes, but it might have a flicker of raw, primitive experience. Our own rich, complex consciousness, in this view, is just what happens when trillions of these tiny sparks of awareness get organized in a system as complex as a human brain. This idea finds a strange bedfellow in a prominent, though controversial, theory from neuroscience called Integrated Information Theory, or IIT. Developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi, IIT suggests we can mathematically measure the amount of consciousness in any system. Crucially, the theory implies that consciousness isn't just for brains. If you run the numbers, its framework suggests consciousness could exist in varying degrees all over the place, which some proponents controversially extend to the universe as a whole. And the clues don't stop there. When astronomers map the universe on the largest scales, they find that galaxies aren't just scattered randomly. They're connected by huge filaments of dark matter and gas, forming a breathtakingly complex network known as the cosmic web. In 2020, an astrophysicist and a neuroscientist published a study comparing the structure of this cosmic web to the neural network of the human brain. The similarities they found in the network patterns were uncanny. To be crystal clear, they were not saying the universe is a giant brain. They were pointing out a stunning mathematical echo, that the rules that guide the self-organization of galaxies seem strangely similar to the rules that guide the growth of our own brains. It's an analogy, but a powerful one. If your mind is buzzing with these possibilities, hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. We explore these big questions every week, and we'd love to have you with us. Section 4. The Bridge of Convergence. So what happens when you lay these stories side by side? On one hand, you have the ancient wisdom of Brahman or the Tao, a universal, interconnected consciousness. On the other, you have frontier science hinting that consciousness might be fundamental, and that the universe is structured like a giant network. It's not a perfect fit, but some thinkers see the outlines of a bridge forming. The idea of panpsychism feels like a modern rephrasing of the ancient belief that a spark of the divine is in everything. What the old sages called Brahman, some modern philosophers are beginning to describe as a fundamental field of consciousness. And that eerie resemblance between the cosmic web and our own neural networks. It feels less like a random coincidence and more like a profound hint. If the universe is built on a pattern that repeats in our own minds, it forces us to ask a wild question. Could the universe itself be more like a living organism than a dead machine? Science and spirituality, after centuries on separate tracks, might be pointing toward a universe that is deeply interconnected, where the patterns in our heads echo the patterns of the stars. Section 5. Your mind as the portal. If we really run with these ideas, we land at the most staggering implication of all. If the cosmos is built from consciousness, then what are we? The answer is both humbling and incredibly empowering. We might just be the universe's way of waking up to itself. Think about it. If consciousness is fragmented and simple in a particle, but more organized in a plant, then in a human brain, the most complex thing we've ever discovered, it has reached an incredible peak of self-awareness. It's through us, and any beings like us, that the universe gets to look back on itself, ask questions about where it came from, and appreciate its own staggering beauty. We are not insignificant specks of dust. We are the sensory organs of the cosmos. This is what we mean by your mind is a portal. Your personal awareness isn't some isolated fluke. It's a focal point, an opening through which the universe experiences itself. Some thinkers, like cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman, propose even more radical ideas, suggesting the physical world we see is just an interface, like icons on a desktop, hiding a deeper reality made of conscious agents. Your mind is the window you use to interact with this cosmic network. Every single one of your experiences, every thought, feeling, and sight is a unique expression of this cosmic field. You're not separate from the universe looking in. You are the universe, looking out through your own eyes. That feeling of connection when you look at the stars isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a flicker of recognition. It's the universe recognizing itself. Conclusion. We started with that feeling of connection you get when you look at the night sky. We've traveled from ancient Indian philosophy to the far edges of modern physics, from the Tao to the cosmic web. And it all leads back to a new way of seeing ourselves. The emerging dialogue between science and ancient wisdom doesn't give us easy answers, but it does suggest we're not isolated beings in a random, dead universe. Our minds might not just be biological computers. They might be portals where the personal and the cosmic meet. To understand the universe, then, we have to look not just out through telescopes, but inward into the mystery of our own awareness. This isn't just a cool idea to think about. It reframes our entire place in the cosmos from being irrelevant to being absolutely essential. It suggests our consciousness is the key, the mechanism through which the universe knows itself. So, the next time you look up at the stars, remember this. You're not just seeing the universe, you are the universe seeing. And that leaves us with one last question to sit with. What if every thought you have is a ripple in the mind of the cosmos? Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Does this idea resonate with you? Or does it all sound like science fiction? Let's talk about it.